All you're seeing on YouTube are these kids talking about printing money, scaling dropshipping stores to 30K months, 100K months, $500,000 months within 30 days. But they always leave out what happens after. You cannot consistently scale stores this quickly without any problems. I'm gonna reveal those problems to you today. I scaled my dropshipping store to one of the best months, Black Fridays, I've done, which was $160,000 in the space of 30 days. But what followed was a month of negative profits of $20,000. The bank went down by $20,000 liquid within 30 days. And I can assure you, every single guru on this platform as well will be having months like this as well. Ecom is never consistent. If anyone tells you otherwise, they are lying to you. Even the massive brands have unprofitable months depending on situations, ad problems, creative problems, product problems, stock problems. Things can go wrong. In this video, I'm gonna break down every single beginner mistake I made that caused me to lose that $20,000 within the 30 days. I'm going to explain the strategies we implemented to fix this and explain how we had one of the biggest months of the year after this, after implementing this, and the months following that were always profitable. Let's dive into the results and my actual P&L from my business dropshipping store. No one's showing you this stuff. So let's have a look at the results in November 2021. Yes, this was 1.5 years ago, but it's very important. Why is it important? Because this was the first time we'd scaled this Shopify dropshipping store to £130,000 in 30 days. This was our first proper Black Friday month. We scaled, as you can see, it is a 73.5% increase of the prior month. Usually we'd be hitting £50,000 to £80,000 per month. In dollars, this £134,000 would be around $150,000, $160,000. Not sure exactly. As you can see, we did a 4.2 ROAS. That net profit is not accurate, but I will show you the actual Excel spreadsheet, which is accurate. And I'm gonna show you the exact profit that we generated this month. But the beginner mistakes I made lost most of that profit the month after. This is the Shopify dropshipping store P&L. So this is the actual inside P&L using Excel spreadsheet. So this is from 2020 to 2021. This store we were running for 3.5 years and I actually exited it, which I talk about in other videos. Exited about 4 or 5 months ago. Absolutely smashed it with this store. But the November 2021 results, one, we did £133,000 net revenue, cost of goods were £45,000, and the gross profit margin was around 63%. After the operating costs, which were £40,000, remember this is all in pounds, not dollars, we had a net profit of 32% here. That net profit was £42,000 in the month of November. £42,000 profit in 30 days. So dollars, that's probably $60,000 profit in 30 days, which is absolutely insane. Obviously, this is my first time doing Black Friday with Ecom and I couldn't believe it. The results are insane. But we made mistakes and we didn't implement things as we never actually scaled to this point. The team wasn't prepared, etc. And the following month prior to that, December, we lost £17,000. A net loss of 34% compared to revenue, which was a £51,000 revenue month. Massive drop in sales, absolutely massive drop in sales. So I'm gonna break down exactly why this happened, and all these stores you see online of people scaling crazy, they're gonna be doing the same thing. It will happen. The things we implemented enabled us to do one of the best months ever in 2022, so the year after this, and we continued scale up until 2023, 4 months ago, until I sold the company, where we had consistently profitable months because we implemented these strategies with the team, with the structuring, with the systems. And let's get into that. If you're a beginner, advanced, listen now. What were the reasons we lost over $20,000 in profit in the 30 days? Number one, all I was thinking about was front end sales, creating more ad creatives, scaling the Facebook ads, scaling the Google ads, scaling the Pinterest ads, and generating more sales. We put out more organic content, and all I wanted to do was push the sales on the front end. What did that lead to? I never notified the team there would be a massive increase in sales. We only had one virtual assistant customer support that was trained, and not to a good standard. So when we increased the sales, there was a massive influx of customer support tickets, problems, product problems, and there was a lot more to deal with on the email side of customer support. We only had one VA. I should have pre-hired and pre-trained another VA and ensured the systems were clear. The next reason is I did not account for cash flow. Refunds in e-commerce are inevitable. As you can see, the refund percentage on the month of November 2021 we had 8.6% returns in the month of November 2021. But let's do some calculations. That month we had £11,000 of refunds in the month of November. But those refunds don't come from November, they come from the month prior. So the refund backlog is always 30 days prior. So that was £11,000 high return rate of the month of October. We only did £80,000 in revenue. We had a rolling average of a return rate of like 13 to 15%. So the next problem was the fact we scaled so high, and then the month after went from £134,000 to £50,000 in revenue, a massive drop. Those refunds from the £135,000 in revenue carried over, but we were not making enough revenue to counter the losses and refunds from the month prior. The reason the sales dropped so much is because these products were not purchased in Christmas time period. No one's thinking about these products to buy for Christmas. It's not a gift, it's not a present. People were just after these products in the Black Friday discount. So the sales dropped dramatically. But the refund percentage was so high because we had not proper refund system. So number one, like I said before, the customer support could not handle the email tickets, could not handle the problems in the amount of emails that were coming in. We should have hired a new VA. We did not track our cash flow and understand how much we needed to make in December to make sure profits were stable. Because we could have scaled the ads a little bit more, but we decreased because we wanted to keep the ROAS high. But in theory, we should have kept scaling or scaled better in December. And then the final problem as well, we did not have a proper refund system in place. So refunds were just getting handed out to anyone, even if there was no policies broken or customers taking the mickey and just trying to get a refund for getting a refund, because this happens in Ecom. We didn't have a chargeback system in place and we weren't battling the chargebacks properly, to which we lost. So next, I'm going to talk about the strategies we implemented that enabled us to get to $400,000 a month, consistent $200,000 months with consistent profits. Before we get into that, I just want to mention something. I'm not going to link this ever again, but starting December 5th, we've got an inner circle build, which is a private one-to-one with me and Charlie, one of the mentors in a private network. And we're going to be working with you to launch a store in January. However, this is for people who have funds and are willing to invest 6 weeks of your time to give dropshipping a proper go. I'm calling this a sniper shot. So basically what we're doing with this is we're really going to focus on getting a good product, a good store. We're going to build a custom website for it with Shopify and a developer and ensure all the ads are custom, so we get a sniper shot so we can guarantee you make sales for the store. Whether it will be profitable or not comes down to the testing and procedures. But if you want to apply for this, there is literally one space left. There is 5 people joining. 4 spaces have been taken already. This isn't like a sales thing. 4 spaces have legit been taken. So if you want to apply, there's 1 more space left. You can book a call with us now. So the strategies we implemented were: number 1, I hired and trained another VA, implemented systems to which all the VAs were trained in every situation and they knew what they were doing. Training a VA and hiring good VAs is very important. So what I wanted to do now was hire a VA that was better than me and knew more about operations than me. And that's what I did. I found someone and put them on a bigger salary to implement strategies and systems to make sure all the customer support was better. Initially, what we were doing was literally just using email. We installed Zendesk, which is a customer support app, and all operations were managed from an operations manager. So now we had a VA, an operations manager that gave us room to hire another VA in the future if we wanted to scale again, and an operations manager to train the initial VA, and an operation manager to come in when there were more problems. So for training, what we did, we would do consistent bi-weekly calls where we would train, go over tickets and record every single thing. Recording training is very important because if you want to hire someone again, all the information is there. So everything should be documented in folders and recorded, especially in training. This is super important. I promise you, most business owners on the online space will be doing this. The next thing we did financial analysis. So in 2022, the year after, we did forecasting and scaling predictions. So I actually forecasted our revenue and we hit that in 2022. I knew who I could hire. I knew how much profits we're making. I knew what KPIs we had to meet. So KPIs are like, all right, how much can we spend on ads before becoming unprofitable? what's the ROAS we can spend before becoming unprofitable. Before, I was doing none of this, scaling blind. And I knew the KPIs, and it enabled us to keep to them properly. So I knew how much profit we'll be making at certain stages. And this gave me clear indications of how to scale the store. Another thing is I wanted to implement a clear profit tracking software, and I was having a look. You got B Profit, True Profit, but I found this new one. It's called X Profit. I'm going to dive into it now, and it's had some features. I didn't use this at the time, but I'm trying to think, if I was in your shoes as a beginner, what software would I want to use to track profits? Because it's super important. The problem, I wasn't tracking profits properly. I didn't know how much I could scale. That's why we lost the money. So if you are scaling in your shoes, you need to know your net profits and how much room you have for error and problems you can do. So the profit software I was looking at, I found this new one. It's called X Profit, and let's go over some of its features. I think this should be cool for you guys. This is the X Profit app. It's a new software that I found compared to the other ones. This was interesting because it had some of the features I didn't see on True Profit or B Profit, that are the bigger guys. And for dropshippers, this is very important. So as you can see, it has a feature here called after tax. So you can calculate your net profit after tax. Now, I'm pretty sure no other softwares are doing this. And this is another thing, like, how are you going to know how much cash in your bank if you're not prepared to pay tax at the end of the year? Obviously, all these settings are custom, so you can put them in. You can track your ROAS, your profit, your product costs, but there's even cooler features like the product analytics. So I'll show those as well. You can literally track your profits per product, because sometimes you are scaling unprofitable products. And I was doing that actually very often. So the store I was running was a retail store. And what would happen is sometimes we'll be putting loads of spend, or people or customers would be purchasing products that were actually unprofitable because the margins were lower, then the refund rates were high, and you need to be on top of these things. You can calculate VAT, operating expenses, fees, profits, and it really gives you a true profit, even processing fees, which is super important because you need to take them into calculation as well. So let's look at the product analytics feature and take a look at that. So this is the product analytics feature. As you can see, it can go through every single product, and like I said before, you can see the profit per product, which I thought was a cool feature. You can change the settings and see what you want to track. As well as this, there is a really cool feature where you can actually import all the variants, change the pricing. So as you can see here as well, you can connect your Pinterest ads, Meta ads into the software, and it can calculate everything very accurately. From what I found before, the other apps weren't too accurate. Furthermore, when you're importing products, you can see the variants as per here. After looking at B Profit, True Profit, X Profit was pretty clear. It's a good app, and they actually reached out to me and they said they want to work with our network and they can fully customize. So like, let's say you use this software and you need some specific features for your store, they will put them in and help you with that and give you personalized support, which is pretty cool. There's not other softwares doing that. Obviously they're brand new, so personalized help's pretty good. I don't think any other people are doing that right now. If you want to use this app, there is a discount code below. From what I've seen, it's pretty good. This can help predict your outcomes so you understand how much profit you're making. If you know how much profit you're making and you know the KPIs, you can really use that to scale in the future and make more money. So lastly, the next thing we implemented was a refund system. So before, we were not scaling with a clear refund system. So we didn't have a script when answering refunds. So all these people online doing crazy number of sales is they will get a lot of customer support tickets. Hopefully they're answering them. You have to have good customer support. This is how you build a long-term brand. You need to refund everyone who deserves a refund. And then per country, the rules are different. So UK is different, America's different. Everyone has different return policies. In the UK, I think it's, if I remember correctly, it's 14 days or 30 days. A customer has pretty much all rights to refund a product unless they don't meet your policies. In USA, it's a lot less strict. So I'm pretty sure you can refund less people because the policies are lighter. I didn't sell in USA as much. So you could have a clear script. So the script we used is whenever anyone inquired for a refund, we would initially offer them a part-time refund. So we were like, hey, look, we understand you're not happy, maybe we can offer you a discount on your order and your product, and this can settle it. If they would agree to it, that would give them 10 to 20% off, money back. Or if they wanted to return the product, they could do that. But this would reduce the return rate because some people would be happy to take a little bit money back and keep the product if the problem wasn't that bad. So that would reduce the refund rate by a little bit. And then the next part is, how can we reduce the cost? So we would accept some of the refunds into our fulfillment center And then what we would do is we would ship them out for new orders once repackaged and resorted out. So we would save money on ordering new stock. So this would reduce our product cost and refund costs. So we weren't losing as much. Because when you get a refund for a product, you're losing the money on the ad cost, the product cost if you can't sell it again. So we were reusing items and had a better system in place. This ensured better profits and sustainable profits long term. As well as that, the final thing is keeping revenue consistent. So scaling up, scaling down is not really an answer. You want to scale up, scale down slightly, but keep cash flow consistently okay. So you need to understand your room for margin of what deviations of revenue can you have. So what were the after results of implementing all of these things? And they were pretty good, because the year after we hit one of our record months, which is $400,000, record profit months actually. And the month after we were profitable, not negative. So we kept all those profits after implementing this stuff. So the VA was super important for that. This return system and financial developments, and basically looking at cash flow, how much profit we're making, and our KPIs using softwares like this. Initially, we put it into the Excel spreadsheet, but apps like this, like X Profit, are way better now. So November 2022, we did £327,000. I think it was actually a bit more, than why it's a bit lower on it. Cost of goods, well, advertising spent £84,000. We did £327,000, which is pretty much $400,000. The cost of goods were £84,000. This was the year after implementing all these things. As you can see, the year prior, we hit one of our biggest months, which is £327,000 in revenue. And the profit for that month, which was 30 days, was £122,000, which is nearly $150,000 profit within 30 days, which is absolutely insane. And what happened the month after? It was still a 17% net profit margin of £18,000, so $22,000 to $25,000. The stuff we implemented caused our biggest month, Black Friday, to be triple the size in profit, and we actually had a 17% net margin profit month the month after in December. So as you can see, we still scaled and did £104,000 in December as well. We didn't scale down from 320. We didn't go back to £50,000 like before, and all the strategies we implemented worked, and it meant consistent profits. Peace and love.